I've gone from being a pastor in my local church to becoming a successful adult model. Now I make between $30,000 to $100,000 a month.
In the adult entertainment, what is she doing? She's influencing people through her words, through her action, through her character.
No, she's
words
not.
of affirmation.
Not what words of affirmation if she's just laying there, Chris?
Come and get this, daddy. It's a words of affirmation.
You guys are a rowdy bunch in here. I love it.
There we go. When I was a pastor, I still was ascribing to the belief that I am responsible for how men view me. I would spend so much time over my outfit. Like, don't wear too tight of jeans. And I remember thinking, oh, I probably shouldn't wear high heels because that can be seen as like provocative or a little more sexy. And that was just a lifetime of training. Shaming women, body shame, sex shame, victim shaming. You always need to live in fear.
It's important to remember why we need God.
It was so toxic, it was so controlling, it was so unhealthy.
Why God is everything we hunger for.
But then I had my awakening.
But adult entertainment, how do you compare it? How do you equate it to like giving people direction for life to adult entertainment?
Well, the metrics are not so different actually, because now.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, I can argue the metrics are not that different actually.
Okay. Okay. I would like to
here
hear
we go.
this.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Right. In her role as a pastor,
Yeah.
she's giving people direction based off her character.
Yes.
Okay, so people feed off that.
Not only character, words of encouragement. What do we say? Exaltation.
Exactly. Her
Encouragement.
actions, her words.
Exactly,
She's
yeah,
preaching. She's a model.
Affirmations.
She's a model, is she not?
Yes.
In that case,
Exactly.
in the adult entertainment, what is she doing? She's influencing people through her words, through her action, through her character.
No, she's
words
not.
of affirmation.
Not what words of affirmation if she's just laying there, Chris?
Come and get this, daddy. It's a words of affirmation. This is all yours.
Wow, I
When
didn't
she's lying on that bed flat like that, that's affirming me that I'm manly enough to handle a woman like that. That's
I
building
didn't
my
expect
character.
that.
And mind you, that influence she'd have, like the theater, for lack of a better word, that she
Yes.
has there is far grander than the theater she has in her local congregation. By that argument, those metrics are not that different. She's impacting people's lives in that area, right?
Okay.
There's people who believe they'll never get with a beautiful woman. There she is online. She just completely rubbishes that train of thought.
But
like,
they'll
hey,
still never get with her.
they can't get with her, but they can get off looking at her. I think that's good enough for
But
them.
that's not enough.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people that's enough for them, bro.
Okay, true. Okay.
You'd be really surprised.
Okay. But still, personally, I can't equate it, Chris, because it's different. Because think about how many same models are, OF models are there.
Yeah.
Think about how many OF models are there, and think about the amount of guys that have subscribed to this different. Because you're not the only one they've
Of course
subscribed
not.
to.
Yeah.
And think about from the same aspect, think about how many people she impacted in a local church, people that looked up to her, that saw her as a role model, someone they can imitate and try to become like because of her beliefs and
her
where she
standing
stands.
and stuff, yeah.
Exactly. Think about how many, with those same people, I even lost my train of thoughts, but with those same people subscribe to different people as well.
The same people in the local church.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the same thing as me going to church today, which I did go, by the way. And I could still listen to what the pastor said and go home and watch Joel Osteen or something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, but what's
and
the
then during the
meaningfulness
week,
though?
what is the meaningfulness? No, it's the message.
Between the two, like where do we derive the meaning from? Because I mean, like I
Meaning.
did, yeah, like meaning, because meaning and a sense of being and a sense of fulfillment and a sense of hopefulness, because that's what she's giving to people in a local church.
But that's completely subjective, though.
What do you think other people were interpreting it as in a local church?
No. That's completely subjective. That is based on how the individuals and sometimes the group interpret it.
Okay, but would you?
If they found meaning in what you were saying, great. If they didn't, no. And I'd be foolish to think every single time she spoke to people, everyone there found meaning and hope and reason and you know, like that thing, that fire in their soul. I don't think it was everybody, bro.
Okay, interesting.
You'd find somebody like probably thinking, flip, when is she gonna stop so I can go home?
Okay, damn.
And that same dude who goes home opens his OF and like checks out the girl that says, "This booty is yours, daddy."
Okay, that's true. Okay, I don't know how to fight that point off, but I personally wouldn't equate it to the same level of meaningfulness.
Meaningfulness.
I know it's
yeah,
subjective, but
but
I would not equate it to the same
neither
level.
would I. But being an intellectual compels me to equate it, because if I'm in her mind, I'm putting on her hat, right?
Okay.
I don't know if she'd think the way I do, or if I'm thinking the way she's thinking, but one could almost argue that in this day and age, there is greater likelihood of me gaining followers being an adult model
That's true.
versus me being a preacher in the local congregation.
Okay, that's very true.
In this day
That's
and
very
age,
true.
I
That's very true.
can argue that confidently.
No, that's very true.
My kids know that I'm a lingerie nude model. They see all my lingerie. I think a mom is allowed to do whatever she wants. Just because she becomes a mom doesn't mean she's now only allowed to do certain things with her life or her body. I've received so much hate. I get a lot of messages about how I'm going to hell, I'm a terrible mother. Sometimes where my kids' friends' parents find out what I do.
Now, think about it this way. Let's break it down, right? She's a woman. We can't ignore that fact. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything. She's a woman. So by that means, by that metric already, we are judging her, or we are characterizing her on that particular thing as well. She's not just a pastor or a preacher. She's a female preacher.
Okay.
She's not gonna rub that off, bro. I don't care how you wanna spin it. She won't rub that off. We'd be unrealistic to think you can rub that off. She's a female preacher. That's not going anywhere.
But other churches don't really take that into consideration.
They don't, but they do. They don't, but they do.
So do you think she was not going to somehow be successful at what she was doing?
She had a ceiling, bro. She had a ceiling. Even if it's a glass ceiling, fine, she could shatter through that glass ceiling, but that ceiling was, is, and always will be there.
Damn.
We don't like to say it, but in fact, our faith compels us to say it. Is it not written that a woman shall not teach or preach men who cannot stand on the pulpit? A woman can teach other women if that woman is an elder to those women.
Okay,
But that same woman cannot stand and preach to a congregation that consists of men.
I know, but remember there's been revelation or knowledge that somehow undermines, negate that very advice from Paul. Because a lot of people say, this is what a lot of people say, in order to oppose what Paul said, right? Which is a crazy thing, because but they say, who did Christ die for?
All of us.
Okay, but what are we to him? If
What are we?
he's the bridegroom, we are the
bride, yes.
we are the bride. So if he died for the bride, that means it qualifies the bride to be. That's what someone
That's
said.
some funny math,
It
bro.
does
I'm
not
sorry,
make
wait.
sense.
Run it back. Let me try and make sense of it.
I know.
You.
Exactly.
What kind of logic is that, bro?
As I'm saying, revelational knowledge. Some people came up with
Revelational knowledge. Who revealed this, bro? Who's this person?
Chris, that's what I said.
Let me meet this. Who?
That's what I said. I said, based on Paul's advice, right?
Flawed logic.
I know. Based on Paul's advice,
What?
Paul said what? And there was now revelational knowledge that somehow negates what Paul said, which is a crazy thing. That's what I said, right?
Yes,
Which is a
yes.
crazy thing. And this is the logic behind that. If Christ came to die for the bride,
Yes.
right? Us,
Yeah.
right?
So he's
the
the
bridegroom,
bridegroom,
right?
yeah.
He came to die for us, the bride.
So he's the head. In that case, he's the head of the church.
He's
No?
the head of the church.
Great.
He's our bridegroom, no?
He's our bridegroom. Yeah.
and we are the bride.
Uh-huh.
And the bride symbolizes a female,
Great.
right? So that means overall, it qualifies. Since he came for that female, that means it qualifies that female to spread the word as well.
That makes no sense at all.
I know.
Who came up with this?
I don't want to say it. You know what? I don't want to say it
Because, bro,
people would bash me. I
because
don't want to say it.
if already that train of thought disqualifies it completely. If he is the bridegroom, right, that means he must have a bride.
Yes.
According to the way we see it in Christian marriage,
Yeah.
there needs to be a bride and a bridegroom
Yes.
who have distinct genders.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
the bridegroom,
Yes.
male,
Yes.
bride,
Yes.
female. The head of that flock, that pastor, whatever,
Yeah.
is the bridegroom. So if the bridegroom is a woman, who's the bride? Bride is a woman. Woman marrying a woman, that's cool. Like, that's calm, you know, it's chilled. I ain't bashing nobody, but in the Christian faith,
But why are you saying it like that, though?
in the Christian faith,
So that means we both represent the bride, the bride.
yeah, bro, it's a lesbian relationship, bro.
Oh, damn. Don't say, I don't know. You know what?
That's facts, though.
I'm trying to thread so carefully because I don't want to be bashed for this.
Nah, but
Because I personally have my own opinion.
I'm just
You
telling
see
you,
that
bro.
revelational knowledge? That's trash.
Revelational. I can't believe somebody said that's revelational knowledge. I'm sitting
As
here.
from the beginning, I stated, Chris, I think you should have heard me.
Yeah, I
properly.
heard you, bro.
I said,
bro, I'm not bashing you.
I know.
You're not the
There
problem.
has been revelational knowledge. It is crazy, Chris. I'm not, look, let me not incriminate myself.
No, it's fine.
This is
Yeah.
what someone said. It is crazy how revelational knowledge is. It's just crazy. We don't stick by the book. Someone said, if your church, females don't attend your church.
Yeah.
If majority of your church attendees are not females,
Yeah.
are not ladies,
Okay.
your church has a spiritual issue.
That's like saying a pumpkin is an elephant. You could say that statement and say a pumpkin is an elephant, and it would make logical sense.
This
in
is
that,
this,
bro.
okay. I think we've gone too far.
We've derailed a
Yeah,
bit.
I
Like,
know.
let's go back to.
but that's how crazy revelation.
I
knowledge.
get you.
I actually don't rely on revelational
No,
knowledge.
I digress, because what my point was saying that she always will. She had a ceiling there,
Yes.
and she has a much greater sphere of influence over there. Now, if she's looking at it that I'm gonna be a preacher in the church, etc., 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 she's not dumb. She would have been aware of the ceiling, right? Maybe that could have been something that put her off.
Most probably.
And she's like, where do I have less of a ceiling, and where can I shoot up
Maximize on my
very, very
potential.
quickly? Boom.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Even though this church was the most open-minded and progressive church I'd ever been part of, sex or even sexuality was still one of those topics that was not talked about. There was this pressure to fit within the mold, and as a queer woman in a very straight, male-dominant church, I was afraid that I was too much and I would get in trouble. I knew if I owned my queerness fully, I would likely lose my job at my church. And eventually got to the point where I couldn't hide it, and I decided to come out publicly.
So today's is a big day.
And that's what I did.
I am publicly coming out of the closet. I am queer. I'm attracted to people, period. Hey!
Hello, come in.
If I was still a pastor, what I do now would be unacceptable.
Okay, I think I liked what you were
There
saying.
it is
Yeah,
again.
no, it does.
She was always aware she had a
No, she
ceiling,
was.
bro.
She was.
So,
Okay, you're right.
yeah.
And she knew to some extent, as she's saying, it lies the fact that she didn't feel like she belonged.
She knew, bro. Even
Yeah.
if it was progressive, and I feel so bad for her, because even if she knew, remember she said she's part of the church she was very progressive. Church she was part of, but even there were so many restrictions around what she could and couldn't do.
That's true.
There were so many restrictions about what was taboo. A lot of things that she wanted to speak about were taboo, and she couldn't.
Okay, now this begs the question: what do you think it means when people say just be yourself? You are free to be yourself.
What do I think it means when someone says,
Yeah,
just
what
be
does it
yourself?
mean? Because in the same token, when people say be yourself, they mean it's somehow location bound, religion bound, situationally bound, group bound. Be yourself, but there's boundaries to it. What do you think when people say that? What do you think goes down in their mind?
I think they use that as a numbing agent to the potential pain of you being left out or feeling so excluded from the group. They want to numb the pain a little bit, where they'll be like, look, we get that you feel like you don't belong, or we get that you feel outside, but just be yourself. And I think you put it excellently. Within this bubble we have, be an individual, but within the bubble though, you can't be yourself outright,
Exactly.
where you no longer belong to the bubble. Now that's a problem.
Does that not kill off individuality now?
Absolutely.
Because now you're forced to put on a certain character, and for majority of times you have to imitate the most dominant figure within that group, and you have to become like them. If not become exactly like them, but you have to become what they want you to become.
Yeah.
Does that not kill individuality and a sense of thought, self-thought, and self-identity?
There's no room for free will there. There's no room for decision making, individual decision making. There's no room for self-expression. There's no room for anything that has to do with self, even a little bit. We are gonna rubbish all of that because
It's not supposed to be. Like, I remember in my previous church, it's crazy. It's one of the most craziest thing, where for your words to be acknowledged,
yeah,
you have to add at the end of, even if it was one of the most profound statements you make, you can't say anything wise and profound outside of the man of God's words. So every one of your profound statement has to be an acknowledgement of the man of God's words. So your sentence will start like the man of God said, if you want your words to be profound.
do you know how dangerous that is?
I know that's very dangerous. And that's the one thought in my previous church. It was, you couldn't make a statement. If you made a statement and there's no man of God anyway,
Yeah.
they would ask you, who said that?
What if you said I said that?
If you said that, it won't be acknowledged.
It's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
But it's also dangerous for the man of God, because I could, if I were in your situation,
But who is reinforcing the thought? Is it not the man of God?
yeah, I would be a menace in that kind of environment. I would be, they'd hate me. I would be a complete menace, because I'd go around giving people random facts, or I'd prank people. I'd be like, hey, the man of God said the sky is purple. And then you're like, did he really say that? And be like, yeah, he totally said that.
Okay, that's true.
The
Yeah,
question
yeah,
is,
that's true.
who is to disqualify what someone is saying that the man of God, you know what I'm saying?
That's
We're
the thing,
all-
because you don't really keep up with everything the
we're
man of
all
God
so
says.
scared that you know what I'm saying? It's like we're all just sheep, and we're all so scared, and we're all like trembling about the man of God, that
That's true.
if someone says the man of God said it, it must be true. That's dangerous. If I were the man of God in question, I would be so terrified that people can go around saying the man of God said. Bro, what if you get incriminated by somebody saying something like, the man of God said it's cool to do this and this and that, and it's illegal?
Oh, and in such environments, personally, there is quite a lot of policing.
Bro,
Like, there's a lot of policing. Does it not
right.
remind me of Animal Farm? In order to reinforce anything, like the minions around Napoleon,
exactly.
if they wanted to get their way, they would say, Captain, is it Captain? Oh no, Comrade.
Comrade
And the more I did it, the more I wanted of that. When I started my OnlyFans, I remember being really nervous about how my people would react. So before I posted, I wrote a social media post on all my social media accounts saying, I've decided to do this thing, and here's why. I'm preparing you. So when you start seeing more sexy photos, this is why. Unfriend or unfollow me now if this is not something you want in your life. And now it's become a full-blown money-making job that I love. I've gone from being a pastor in my local church to becoming a successful adult model. Now I make between $30,000 to $100,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, the financial reward could be reason enough.
Do you think it
Let's
was
see.
reason for motivation?
It could have been, but then again, low barrier to entry. We did discuss that.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Very, very low barrier to entry for her to get into there,
Yeah.
clearly.
Exactly. And,
And
to
on-
be making that much.
And to be making that kind of money.
Not a lot of people were
you
making
know,
that much.
one could argue that, look, fine, taking a job as a pastor is a commitment, and you don't do it for the money.
Yes.
You don't, right? It's a calling. It's not a job. It's a calling.
It's a calling, yes.
Yeah. But she could turn around and say exactly the same thing if she wanted to. She could be like, look, this is my calling. I feel like it's my job to express myself in the way that I see fit, and I'm adding value to people's lives. Just as well as I was, but in a different way, to people when I was preaching to them. Clearly, she is adding value, and you know how we can say that?
How?
She's generating $100,000 a month.
That's true.
She's adding value
Based
to
on
somebody.
Yeah, based on it's subjective again, you said.
Yeah.
Now, last question, because I had a discussion with a friend when I pointed this out to them, and this is what they said. Because I showed them the video and everything. We're just talking about this over a video, and this is what they said. This person was not genuine from the very beginning, because you cannot depart from your first love.
You can depart from your first love. You choose not to.
But now, are we not in a position now to question your genuineness?
If you depart from your first love.
If you depart from your first love, were you really genuine?
Bro, can I just be frank?
Yeah.
I think you can depart from your first love. Absolutely. Because you're human and you have emotions, and those are not a constant thing.
But was the love genuine?
Yes, it could have been genuine. You could have loved something or someone so genuinely and so much, but that changes over time, because the only constant is change. And you need to be comfortable accepting that. Even though it's such, I hate saying that. Honestly, I hate saying that because it's a scary fact. But I need to make terms with it. Like, you could genuinely, you know what I'm saying? You could be all in and like 10 toes down. Like how you said, they showed you the glossy part of it, right? You fall in love, you get in there, you see that it's not really what they told you. You still hold on. Over time, you start compromising. Eventually, you become fed up, and then you fall out of love altogether. It's possible.
But is that not a form of manipulation to it?
Is that not a form of manipulation?
Yeah, there's a probability that what you love is actually you were indoctrinated into loving it, and it was not genuinely a genuine response from you.
It's possible, yes. But they still can be genuine like love. They can be genuine conviction. They can be like, let's assume she was baptized, for example.
Yes.
Right? She was baptized into a church. She said she believed in the Lord. She got her baptism. She got out of the waters. And she genuinely was convinced, and she was in love with serving and being there. And she had a calling. That could happen. But then one thing we must remember is, as much as, and I think that's why my faith, our faith, teaches us to continuously bolster your faith, and that it's not a constant thing. It's not like you believe now, great, awesome, that's it, you're done, it's over. Like that's how it's always going to be. No, that's not how it's going to be. There'll be ups and downs. And even though it's genuine, there still will be ups and downs. There'll be days where you're like, do I really want to do this? And that doesn't make you like a scheming person or anything, bro. You can fall out of love with things. You can fall out of love with people, bro.
Okay, that's very true.
It's sad, but
it is very sad. But personally, I think I would still go with the fact that it's not like I can't question a love whether it was genuine or not. But I would say it was induced. It's like it didn't come. It's not a genuine response all entirely. Maybe 30% of all of it will account for her, but the response I felt it was from, because she said it's brand new her, and she's experiencing this, and she feels like if she was to have a choice on how she was raised, she would choose different. But anyways, guys, that's it from us. Please don't forget to leave your comments below. We'll really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. Please, what else? What else you want to say?
Like and subscribe.
Oh yes, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hit
And
the
don't forget to
notification.
share.
Yeah.
Sharing is so important.
Sharing
Oh
is
my
caring.
word.
Sharing is caring.
Bro, it is the most important thing. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to share.
Share, people.
So
Share.
yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.